by here to meet this goal of what you need to do. You know what I'm saying? So that's probably what your head's been on. Okay, my first is here, is outside. Good, I'm Gucci. I got outside down because I already did that. Now, if you're having something inside, which space are you preparing for inside so you can do an inside thing? And then how do you progress from one area to the next area on the inside?
Keeping their attention, making it where they're learning, but they don't feel like they're in school. You know what I'm saying? That's
Oh, yeah.
because you can lose them quick with that. So we're gonna definitely make it fun, make it stuff that they can go home, tangible stuff that they can create and build on and go home with. Of course, the outside activities, yeah, like you said, that'll be the easiest right there.
Isn't that a park just right down the street?
Yes, it's right down the street. So I was thinking about that too, but then they get into more of like the liability part. So I know I got to make sure I got certain staff, for, just and even the security, the everyday security, all that type of stuff is what I've been trying to go over and like name tags and sign in sheets and sign out sheets, and if the main parent don't come up, like who did you put down that can pick them up? Because that's the security part is is really the biggest part for me. You know what I'm saying? Like I got to make sure these babies safe and they get home to the people they're supposed to go home to every day. Then we can do all the fun and learning and stuff after that. But the security part, that's first.
So yeah, safe and supervision. So you're looking at how many volunteers you need for each number of children and make sure the volunteers understand that that's their role, is to help the children and keep them safe.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
But it's gonna be good. I had some people was thinking about it was maybe a little too cheap. I ain't gonna say it's too cheap, but like the people in Temple, like Ralph Wilson, all that, they're like five something per month, and you got to bring your own lunch. So I'm doing 300 feeding you breakfast and lunch with a snack. But like I told them, that's the whole idea of the House of Resources. We're not getting into this to have, you know what I'm saying, like the same rates as the big corporations. Like we can figure out how to make it work. Well, we're still profitable because we're not doing it just. I mean, we're doing it out the goodness of our heart, but we understand it as business. And one thing I have learned, I came up with a show actually thinking about this. Not a show, but like a little segment I'm gonna do probably like twice a week, and it's called Lessons from the Ancestors, right? So this is one of the lessons from the ancestors. Every time I'm thinking about doing anything, it always has to be sustainable. Like the Black Panthers had a great idea of feeding the kids for free, but it wasn't sustainable. You know what I'm saying? So like, how could they have made it sustainable? Maybe asking the parents to give $1 or $2 a week. Just like, not that you're trying to make $1 million off the program, but you just put yourself in position where you can sustain doing the good work that you're doing. So that's always leading off with it. So I think we get 30 kids, 30, 40 kids. I got a handful of the staff, and some will be paid, some will be volunteer. Even the volunteers we're gonna figure out something. So then I got some sponsors that want to sponsor the food part of it, because that'll be a part of the budget right there. So at that 300, I'm getting sponsors with the food. I'm getting sponsors, some people that's volunteer, and even the people that's getting paid, not asking for what they normally would ask for. Just trying to just cover little gas, little this or that, little time. Just making sure everybody's feeling value for the situation. So it's not like a big money grab. It's money that could be made, but it's not. It's at a rate where I think we're over serving our community, which that's what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're paying them $500 and you got to bring a lunch, I think for $300 and we're gonna feed them breakfast and lunch. I think and I was doing it from 8 to 4, but then I realized that like the people that got to be at work at 8, they need to start dropping off at 7:30. So now we're doing 7:30 to 4:30. So just stuff like that. Just trying to keep the House of Resources in mind as we do a business. That's the whole mindset of this location. We want to make money. Of course, we got to make money but
it's where the money is made. And because I'm thinking, what you do at the House of Resources as it relates to generating income, that income should be earmarked, or at least a portion of it, for the youth.
Yeah.
It's how CEO Youth League, and the same thing maybe with the youth. A portion of it goes towards these activities that we're just not going to be busting heads for. We're not trying to make money off of this. We're trying to make sure that this happens and that the people that need it most have access to it. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, now the House of Resources is part of there. Besides paying for, like paying the building off and like utilities and all that type of stuff. The everything else goes to funding, keeping these activities, keeping these things going. So and that's part of it. The biggest part of the House of Resources, like you said, to keep the activities going, but to get this building fully owned by the community. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Yeah.
So like that's why I'm not gonna see pretty much nothing in these first couple of years off the House of Resources. But that's why I always tell people I got other businesses to survive off. I don't need like everything that this making. I can afford to let it make whatever it make and put it right back into it, either paying it off or keeping these or building on these programs, because I got the thrift store. I got other things that will make me straight. You know what I'm saying? So I can forward a salary. I'm not worried about what I'm making. These first couple of years, as long as this building is getting paid off quicker, we're fixing it up so the value going up on it, and my program is building. That's my thing right there.
yeah, that's it.
So that's the whole thing. But definitely, like 30 kids at 300, that's 9,000. You're gonna spend maybe $200 to $350 a week on food. Like I say, a part of that, 1,000 or so, whatever you call for utilities and all that stuff, the paid staff. Like I say, they're going to get some money. They wouldn't get what they probably would normally get at a job, but half of it is volunteer, half of it is just us giving you something for your time. You know what I'm saying? So it's a mixture of both. And then like I say, it goes right back into what we can do for our after school programs and all that stuff. So we feel like after everything is paid, we still should be sitting at a profit about. If we get all 30 kids, and it might be, I'm saying 30 to 40 kids. I'm not going to do no more than 40 because I want to make sure I put no more than 30 on the paper, but in reality, I know we can house at least 50. So I'm not going over 40. You know what I'm saying? Not right now. But but we're looking at a profit about 4,000 to 5,000 because we putting the breakfast together. I already got somebody donating meat and stuff like that. For lunch, like breakfast, we're gonna do a cereal, we can do eggs, we do oatmeal. Every day's gonna be something different. It's not just gonna be a little flat, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, and there's gonna be some kids, and we're gonna ask those parents individually, like, what do they like to, what do they want? They like cereal, or are they more of a eggs and sausage person? Like, what do they want? And we'll cater to those needs. And then around the lunchtime, similar, we'll have a set menu, but we'll cater to somebody that don't eat this or don't eat that.
Or should if their kids have special diets that they
that's what I mean.
They should be prepared to bring a special diet. Okay. I don't know that that's necessarily something that you would.
No,
if you can accommodate, but some kids have special diets. You can't have any peanuts. You can't have this. And you got this allergy. Then you definitely got to know.
Yeah, I'm talking about if it's something that we ain't got to go out our way for. Like, if they don't, like if they eat breakfast, but they don't eat pork, or I got turkey. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, if we can sub it out for something else, they don't want nothing but cereal, or they don't want nothing but oatmeal, something that we can sub out. But if it's something like special, like what you're saying, that'll need to be prepared. And I have those conversations with everybody, because I think we're going to have an open house for everybody that sign up. Maybe a month out, so they can kind of get a feel for it. And I hope they start just coming down. You know what I'm saying? I talked to a couple parents that's interested in it, and we'll be following up this weekend. And I told them to just come on by and just check out the spot. So we're about to start getting our tables and everything, just starting to get the visual. You know what I'm saying? Like the visual you'll see every day. So that's what we're doing now. But anyway, we were 9 minutes in. I went live 9 minutes ago saying
It's cool.
Like, this is another episode of Bridging the Gap. How you doing today?
I am.
She said, I am.
I am amazing. I don't know. Like I said, I got something I got to be fighting with. I don't know. Little tickle in my throat. So yeah, but other than that, all is well. All is well.
How was your past week?
Wow. Let's see. How did Oh, well, I had that I was trying to answer. Let me not do that, put that on them babies, but it was probably them the babies. I spent Saturday with all except for one. Yeah, except for one of the grandkids that are in this area and two great nephews and a great niece. And so that was a good time. And my sister, we hung out for a little bit, and I hadn't seen the grands in a while. So me and my husband, we had spring break off. We had spring break without children, and so by Saturday, I had some children. I had all of the children, and so that was a highlight. Never a dull moment. They are just stinking amazing. Me and one of my grandsons. Sunday morning, we went up to the school to the basketball court. And one of my grandsons, how old is baby? Baby is 5. Anyway, so we playing ball. We was ball dancing.
Okay.
Y'all don't know about ball dancing. Y'all gonna learn because I'm gonna bring it. I'm gonna show y'all.
Okay,
So
that's
ball dancing with baby. It was so just had so much fun. So yeah, so we did that, and then Monday we thought, after we thought Sunday night we would get the 2 that come and they stay with us and go to school. We thought we was getting them, but we got us a bonus night. The kids didn't have school on Monday, so we didn't get our kids back until last night.
Okay.
And so we back on the regular track. They are so excited, counting down the weeks. We got 10 weeks until they'll be in the next grade. And so yeah, last week was a good week. It was a good week.
That's great. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that we made it another week. Me and Ben,
Yeah, I missed it.
Oh no, we didn't do it last night.
No?
We talked about it live. I was gonna say, I don't know if I want to say it, but we talked about it live last week. But he's going through some medical things right now, so he was getting ready for a procedure last night.
Okay.
He hit me today, so I think everything went good. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, yesterday we canceled it because he was getting ready for a procedure.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. I guess I thought I saw it on. I guess I didn't. It must have been another one.
Yeah, probably an old one, but. So yeah, that's what we've been doing. We're trying to keep it going, but life is life. What they say, life be life, and you know what I'm saying.
It be life, and
sometimes we can't. Sometimes we can't get around what it is. So, yeah. Speedy recovery and everything is great, and we'll be back next week. I was gonna go live last night, and I think I should have just went live and did with the topic I wanted to do. But we good. We figured it out. But tonight we didn't talk about no topic, so I'm gonna throw something at you.
Throw it. What you got?
Because I posted about it earlier, and I'm like,
what did I see earlier?
Nothing. I was good today. I wasn't coming.
You did good today. Okay.
I wasn't doing nothing like that.
I don't know. I'm just.
I was just talking about. I'll read my whole post, and then I'll tell you what the title is, because it just. I said 2 biggest problems. You jumped in there.
I seen it. I seen it. Okay.
With the building with our people is starting or staying consistent. So the title for tonight is being consistent our true power, because we always talk about unity is our power, right? But if you're not consistent, and we have shown that we're not consistent being unified either. So I'm thinking even bigger than being unity is consistency, because even consistency leads us to, if we had consistency, it would lead us to be in a better place. We'll start something and then we fall off. We'll talk about, well, I'm going to donate to this, and then next month I got to be reminded. Other coaches don't do that. Once they locked into something, they locked in part, they part of the movement. And I'm not saying that like just particular. I'm just saying that in general, because I had to find myself, like when I was donating to New Era Detroit, I would donate and then I would skip a couple months. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not that we're not skilled at that yet, that this is a must. Everything, because life be life, and like we just said, right?
Right.
So I might want to give you 20, but this month is a little tight. So, this and that, but I still spent it at McDonald's, or not me personally, but I still found a way to blow it somewhere else. So that consistency part is what I want to talk about. why are we have a lack of consistency?
Very interesting. So, Phil Shock Matthews, that's his name. But anyway, that Joker laid that out the other day, and you're the second person that I've been able to kind of say, hey, I ended up sending the video to this person, like, hey, here's your answer. Remember, or we're writing, changing the narrative. Nothing's wrong with Black people. Something happened to Black people. So we have, and Philip Shock Matthews has a term for it, but we have unresolved trauma that manifests itself in our inconsistency. So of course, I want the answer like you want the answer. And I'm asking the question for myself. Why am I inconsistent? Why can't I? Why, so I'm not pointing my finger at anybody or anything. It's just our reality. Some may be better at some things than others, but in general, we have more unresolved trauma than others. Here are some of the traumas, unresolved traumas, that I can recall, just maybe in my lifetime. Things happen, you never get an answer. There's no resolution to it, So when my parents divorced, that was some trauma. They didn't come back together. There's no, that was some trauma. And other things such as that. I go on a job, I'm not promoted, but I'm the best person for the job. I got the qualifications. I got this and that. Trauma. We probably didn't think of it as trauma, but it's traumatic when things like that happen. And so I just think it's interesting that I happened upon that. And it's a part of a series that he's doing to really help us understand what we're doing and how we're doing and why we're doing it. Of course, he's just like you and me. I think he studies and does some, doctoral stuff, so he's a little more academic and he deals with academic things. And but some of it is just our unresolved trauma. And you had said other cultures don't do this. Other cultures, remember, we are the exception. No one has experienced what the African in America or the indigenous to the American has experienced here in the form of chattel slavery, Jim Crow, and the continued oppression. What we want to do is to get comfortable in our cognizant dissonance and just act like it doesn't exist because we're eking out, a living. If we are doing that, many of us are not. But what do we need? What do we have to do? We have to make like we are. When in reality, we know, I don't know how I'm going to pay this. I don't know how I'm going to take care of this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And if that's like on a constant, and guess what? If you don't, watch how this works. If you don't know how you going to pay that, you got a mama somewhere thinking about how you ain't going to pay it. So it's adding to her trauma, stress, or whatever it is. All of these things kind of factor together. Mm-hmm. So the inconsistency, all I can say for us is that we fight past inconsistency. There may be times when you can't give the $20 that you wanted to give. The consistency, I'll tell you, different little things that just kind of go, man. I was looking at something today and I'm like, I've been left out the loop again. Is it something I'm doing wrong? Well, I don't know. And so now I'm going, look, I'm working my butt off for this community and trying to do this and trying to do that. Maybe it's this or it's that. Maybe my community is saying, sit down, we got this. I like that part. I'm watching things happening in the community that are fantastic and phenomenal, right? And so maybe it's time for me to just sit down. Maybe I shouldn't be doing what I'm doing. Maybe there's a different role for me now than what it is that I was trying to do, since it feels like I'm definitely not getting it right. if I keep, let me give you an example. So let's say youth backyard garden did something, and everyone else is recognized for their part. I don't want any recognition as Rhonda Brown, but when Youth Backyard Garden, which is important to me and to the youth and to what I'm doing in this community, when that's overlooked, I got to take some concern there. I got to say, okay, Rhonda, what didn't you get right? Why is this happening? I probably, would speak up about it because what I'm doing for the youth. Yeah. It's not about me, and it's what we talked about before, or at least in one area. Is Rhonda's doing that? Rhonda's not doing any. Well, Rhonda's doing what Rhonda can, but Rhonda should not be doing what community can do. And so my goal has always been community. If the community don't build it, the community don't put into it. If the community, then it really doesn't exist, because when, like you said, it's not sustainable. So, or no, it's not sustainable, or it continues to be that person's thing.
Yeah.
So moving from inconsistency from clique to collective to figuring out how we all do what we do together. And so I had a different instance this week where, like, okay, and I didn't even have the opportunity to say, hey, that needs to be on there. This is important. Then I point to myself on it and I go, okay, Ron, there's something you ain't doing. I'm definitely not. Yeah, I'm not. Like, I'm not all on Facebook every day with Youth Backyard Garden Initiative. I'm not. But I've put in work for me, and the people that work with me have put in work for 4 years. That's a long time, Tony.
Yeah, I know.
That's a long time. And produced, you know what I'm saying, opportunities, whether people took advantage of them or not. And some people did, of what it is that we're developing. But sometimes it could be, I don't know what you call it. I really don't. You want to build for community, with community, because that's what makes it sustainable. But if you don't have community building with you,
and that's the part, and that's what I mean about, and what I asked about consistency, I understand like the traumas and understanding it, but I don't fully go with that notion, because we consistent on everything that's bad for us. You know what I'm saying? So we know how to be consistent.
That's that.
We know how to be consistent at fast foods. That's bad for us. We know how to be consistent at the club. We know how to be consistent with the flies closed. We know how to be consistent with certain things that's not empowering. So I'm not gonna say that.
Are we consistent or are we conditioned?
No, we both. We conditioned.
So can we be conditioned to consistency? In the good stuff.
In the wrong energy. Yeah.
In the right energy.
But we can redirect that too, because I was that. Well, now let me stop lying. I was not for real, because even at my youngest heyday, I was never into none of that stuff. Like literally, people been calling me old since I was like 14. Like, so I've been basically the same person. But in general, I understood that. But I guess one thing about me, I was raised that my mama put it into our head. I don't know if it was a tactic that you do when you're a single mother and you can't afford stuff, but she put it to us that I never in my life, I don't know too many black men that's 40 years old that never owned a pair of Jordans ever. Never wanted a pair of Jordans. And I could have had them all. Like, she just at a young age showed us that doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, who you are and what you stand on. And so I always pull up. I could be in my work truck, window busted out, looking whatever, and I could pull up to a millionaire in a Porsche. I don't feel no beneath nobody. I've been at tables with millionaires. Like, I never felt inadequate in any situation I'm in, and that goes back to the confidence that she put in me at a young age. So I never needed. But there a lot of us say we so poor that when we get our income tax or whatever, we want to buy the flyers clothes or the flyers this or the flyers that to make ourselves feel good. And I guess I'm always feeling good with myself because I'm comfortable who I am personally, like, and so that's a whole nother story. But what my question wasn't really going at consistency, because I know why we inconsistent. I know a lot of the reasons, and I know the condition and all that. I was basically saying, like, because we always say unity is our power, right? Like, if we get unified, that's the real power. And I'm thinking maybe consistency is our real power. Like the unity, whatever, you know what I'm saying? But because if we not even unified consistently. We only, like I say, we're against each other consistently. We do all the negative stuff, the negative stereotypes, the things that keep us at the bottom. We consistent with all of those things. So I'm thinking if we focus more on being consistent in the positive way, that's even more powerful than unity. That's really kind of the way I'm coming at it. Like, is us getting more consistently on a positive front? Is that even more important than unity?
Consistency is important. Tell me this. Is consistency is it dependent more on the individual than the collective? Like, the collective can be no more consistent than the individuals that are part of that particular collective. Yeah. So it's almost like as a code and as a standard.
And that's what it is. It's a code. It's like it was what, like we always say, we not gonna agree with everything, but we agree on a certain code. So that means even if we don't agree with everything, if we're on the same code, we're gonna move in the same direction.
We're gonna move in a similar direction, the same direction. Not,
Yeah. I can't stand you, but we going here mentally, so we still going in the same direction, whatever. And I think that's a part of us that we consistently against each other. Like, we could be going in the same direction, but if I don't like you, I'm gonna go the other direction just because. And I see that a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like that's really real in our community, that I'll go a whole nother way just because that person that's going that way with y'all, I don't fool with, I don't rock with, I don't, you hear that. People straight up tell you, like, nah, I ain't with that because of wooty woo. I'm like, what does that person got to do with the vision, where we're going to, the goal? One person shouldn't interrupt your goal. You know what I'm saying?
You hear that? People
can you hear that?
Yeah, break it down. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like repeating what you said.
Your computer? That's your phone.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah, that's your phone.
Too funny. Like, I finally found it because I'm like, not very helpful because I'm not ever sharing when I should be. No, okay, I'm sharing now. Yeah. I looked down and I saw it's on there. I was like, oh, okay, I can share. Okay.
But yeah, that's what I'm talking. I'm just talking about more of a, if we focus, like the way we focus on unity, which I think is a losing battle. I ain't gonna say losing battle. I think it's a overblown term.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's an overblown term, but I think if we moving on the same code, consistently moving in this front for the same goal, that's more empowered. That's more impactful than if we're unified, per se.
Okay, so based on your post, what are some examples of the types of consistency that you would like to see?
Okay, and I'm gonna take the money out of it, because we already know, like, we give the organizations that, like Dr. Boyce always say, we pay for what we don't need and we beg for what we need. You know what I'm saying? Yep. That's what we do as a culture. We give out our money and then we turn around and we ain't got no money to make it to work next week on light bill, but we got fly last week and got drunk and all that. So I'm gonna leave the money part out of it, because we all know we're inconsistent with putting our money in the right direction that would empower us as a community. But I'm just talking about just even what's up, Key? Love. I'm talking about even just say we mentoring, right? Say we mentoring some boys. We say we're gonna mentor them every Saturday.
Right.
I ain't gonna say guarantee. I mean, it's proven that the same, say 20 guys show up that first day. I guarantee about week 3, it'll be less than 10. And some might have legitimate reasons, some might not. But that's the inconsistency of what our kids are losing in these streets. Like, I'm not saying that your reason is not legitimate. Like some people say, I can't do this because I work. Hey, I'm not going against your reason why you can't do it. I'm telling you this inconsistency of us pouring into our youth is the product we see. That's one example. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's one example. Like the inconsistency of we'll work a job for 15, 20 years, show up on time, work hard, give it our all, break our back. We'll start a business and give up in 2 months, 3 months. You know, like stuff like that. We'll start talking about we're gonna build as a group economics, and one person don't like what one person say, and that whole thing is blew up. Now we ain't talking about that no more. Everybody go their separate ways. Like, so I mean, a lot of this is just personal stuff I lived through, so I can keep going on, but it's just the inconsistency of really saying if we really about what we say we about, even when things go rocky, we should still see results of things being done. You know, and that's all I'm saying. Let's be consistent on making things happen, even because I can promise you, I tell people every time I go into something, a different business endeavor or whatever, I plan on 8 to 10 things going bad. So my team be like, man, 2 or 3 things went bad. Why are you still in high spirits? Because this baked in the cake. When you start in a business, especially with the lack of resources and the lack of support, lack of that, you got to know that you're going to have real rocky days. If you don't know that going in, you're like setting yourself up for failure. So when 2 or 3 things go bad, I done had this happen in my real life. Start businesses with guys. 2 or 3 things go bad, they like, man, forget this. I'm going back to work. I can't do it. This and that. My old lady says she don't see no money. Like whatever the reason, and like I say, some of those are valid reasons. Like you know what I'm saying. I'm not knocking whatever our reasons for doing it. I'm just telling you the end result is we stay at the bottom and we never progress. That's the end result. I'm not really going at somebody saying they lying or saying that wasn't no real reason. Whatever. I don't do that. Whatever you say your reason for, I wish you the best. But my whole thing is being inconsistent on the stuff that can build, but being consistent on the things that keep us at the bottom is something we need to address.
Right. And so now I'm looking, you know, even when you put the post, I'm like, okay, what's the solutions? How do we do this? How do we bridge that gap between inconsistency and the effectiveness of what we're trying to do in the community? And so
the biggest thing to me is you got to show. You got to keep, you got to show, be the example. Like you can't talk about nothing, so that's why I show no matter what, good, bad, and different. I got days that's the worst days. I got days that's the best days, but people ain't going to know it all. They going to know is every day Tony wake up talking about building. Yeah. You don't know what's going on in my personal life. You don't know the I've been in a dark room thinking for hours and stressed out about this or going through this. I don't put that out there. Like I always tell people, Facebook is for my business. It's not my business. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
So it's a lot of stuff that personally I can say that this is the reason I should tap out. And it would be legit reasons. That's why I'm saying I'm not knocking nobody legit reasons because I know everybody can't handle the pressure the same way. Like me, when things get pressure, things get bad, and my back against the wall, I go harder. Like I don't tap out. That's just something that's a skill set that I have built. I'm not saying nobody's wrong because they don't have the same skill set, but I'm saying as a whole, we all say we want a better community, right? We all say we want this. We all posting memes talking about Black History Month. We all posting this talking about we talk that talk, but we got to be able to walk the walk too, even when it's hard, even when you can't really do it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, $10 a month to my people. Why? Because I tell people, even if you don't have a dime, if you believe in a program, you can scrape up $10 a month. That's why I started off with the $10 a month. So that was a mindset. And that's why I say $10 a month from 100 people ain't nothing but $1,000. I ain't gonna say it ain't nothing. That's $1,000 though. That's way under the expenditures and bills and all that. That's way more. That's way under that, right? But it ain't even about the $1,000 to me. It's about, can I get 100 people that's locked in, same with me mentally, that we doing this together? I know I got 100 people with me every month, $10, $20. It ain't, you know what I'm saying? That's not a get rich scheme. I'm talking about that's more of a mental lock-in. Can I get 100 people to lock in with me? You know, and you get that. I got probably 30 people the first month. 12 people the second, you know what I'm saying? Like, because it's a fall off. Oh man, I forgot. So some of them still got the money and still would donate, but they just forgot. Like, you know, just legitimately forgot. So even in that though, how can we get to a place where we can't forget something so important? Like I talked to a parent today that was crying her eyes out to me about a 19-year-old son that she feel like she's gonna lose to the streets. And she said, like, you're my last resort. I don't know nobody else that can probably get him but you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's because that's a pride moment, but then that's pressure on me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's not the only one. This is just her first time reaching out. I got 20 of those stories, you know, and half of those parents are in jail. So I'm working with the sister or the big brother or whoever is just taking care of the little ones while their parents are in jail. Like, this is what I signed up for. So I'm not complaining about none of this. My whole thing is, how can we get mentally where I'm locked in that, you know what, our baby's getting lost. So I don't, you know, no matter what going on, I know I gotta, if I ain't got no money, I'm gonna show up. If I ain't got this, I'm gonna promote it. If I ain't got that, I'm gonna tell somebody about it. I'm gonna do something that's consistently every day. Consistently every day building. And that's what I'm saying. It's not even me per se, it's us as in general. Like, we're all inconsistent on building our nation. Though we consistent on a lot of things, but if you talk, you know, you can talk to most of us, most people that look like us, and no matter how bad they want freedom, no matter how bad they do this, if you look in their everyday life, I guarantee you that it don't show that.
No, I mean, that's our reality. So yeah. I've been around a while, and that is our reality. But what do we do? How do we move differently to get what we want? So when you ask for the 100 people with the $10, a mechanism in place to make that almost regimented, you know what I mean? There's different programs out there or software or whatever, apps that you make it where they get a reminder, and it's just real simple and real easy, and bada bing, bada bang, you know, you get a accountability. So it requires something on both parts until that consistency is there. So, you know, for me, I get my money once to the month. I don't get paid several times. So when my once to the month come around, I got to move that money where I said I would put it. Other people may not have that. And so they have money coming in the month goes, and you know how fast this month runs into the next month and this week and so they can just kind of get lost in that. Not that they didn't mean. So the things that I'm most consistent at is the one that has the automatic withdrawal or some type of reminder, or is built into, you know, like I said, for me, it's the way I do what I do. Because I get paid, I have income once to the month. See, and so those are, I just wanted to see some. What can we do to help build that consistency?
But see, it's okay to bring an example of what I'm saying though, because it's not even about the money. Like, if you don't,
it's not about the money. It's about the consistency. I agree.
You do that every day because it's a mindset.
I don't do it every day. I do it once a month.
No, I'm talking about you. No, you do this every day though. The way you think, the way you operate, the way you send a text, or you, like you said, you forward over a video. Like, your mindset is what I'm talking about.
We got to start somewhere,
huh?
We got to start somewhere. So what if we start?
It should start easier with the mind, because most people can easily say, I ain't got the money every month. Okay, forget that. But can you lock in mentally to help build?
Can they lock in mentally?
Obviously, no. That's what I'm saying. We can't, but it should be easier than the money. That's why I said we can take money off the table, because I ain't even talking about.
Think about the money. Think about what we're building. So remember, you're building the house of resources, right? And if I can bought some sausage 2 months ago, as you're building that, I see my contribution in the growth in the place, right? That I contributed way back. That's a connection that can birth a mindset, because now I've done it. I ain't had but $12 and I went and bought that sausage because I wanted to support, I wasn't just hungry.
Yeah,
I drove from across town because I wanted to sow into what the House of Resources is about.
Left with eggs and everything.
And so that's your motivation, that if eggs, everything, that's your motivation to continue with the consistency, which you already said. One of the solutions is that we have to see that example. We have to see it being done because it's not around us, and the things that are around us, we may not be communicating. I do this every. A lot of people may not talk about the things that they do all the time. And then I don't know that there are a lot of people. Yeah, Black History Month, we do some posts, but how many people are 24/7 B1? How many are 24/7?
No,
how many are? I don't know.
Yeah, only one.
How many out there? Who we looking for?
The only like if somebody get killed on TV or something, that's when everybody becomes like B1 or something for a certain period of time, and that's I go back and forth with, because people always like, "Oh, you gonna protest because of this, and you gonna protest because of that?" I'm like, no, my lifestyle is a protest. I don't have to see another person get killed or hurt, or a company to get rediscovered that they're racist all of a sudden. Like, we don't know these institutions racist. I don't need no clothing line to come out that's really saying I already know this. I've been doing this for decades now. You know what I'm saying? So me personally, my lifestyle is a protest, so I don't have to get upset again. I don't even know, that ain't even a word, but I don't have to get upset again to protest something. So that's what I always tell people. My lifestyle is a protest, and that's what I want us to get to. Not when one individual get hurt or another person. I'm still mad about black men that was getting killed in the 90s. I'm still mad about Rodney King getting beat. I don't need to, yes, the stuff that just happened is still, but I'm still mad about the stuff that we don't know about. Like the stuff we found out that's on cameras and cop videos, and they getting away with it now. What you think they was happening before it was even videos? Like I've been the one saying for the last 10 years, I think any black man that was locked up mid 80s on back to the 50s should really be reconsidered about getting out, because a lot of them I know for a fact. Frame. I got one of my mentors been locked up since before I was born. Only a journalist. You know what I'm saying? He's only a journalist, been locked up for over 40 years. Right now, he's dying in a solitary confinement right now. You know what I'm saying? So stuff like that I know for a fact. So I don't need to get upset. I can tell you 1,000 episodes of why I wake up like I am every day. But like I say, once again, this is me. Everybody not built like that. So on a lower level, how can we take our consistency from the programming that we do every day and turn it into more productive stuff for our community? And that's what we're trying to figure out. And that's the House of Resources. Like I tell people all the time, these conversations that we have, I want to make normal. Like I want our youth to know that, oh, I just walked in this building, man. I just met a millionaire. Like I want that to be normal to them. And it ain't no football player, no basketball player. It's a guy that gives back to the community, that started a business, that started just like me, started on, from background just like me. That's what I want to make a normal conversation or a normal event. Like I tell them about the think tank. I switched that around, and what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna send out to people that I'm inviting to the think tank. Like we could take questions from the community and everything, but I'm not gonna publicize that. That was an event that was gonna happen this week, but I scratched that. And the people that it's gonna be certain people invited, and people that can come. You know what I'm saying? But we just got to get more serious about the business instead of saying, oh yeah, we have to be real serious, because it's a lot of work that needs to be done, and we're losing on so many fronts that we have to start really taking control of the narrative. Because to change the narrative, you got to control the narrative, right? You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the times we trying to change something that we have no control over, because we still trying to change it from a system that we can never control.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, control. We fight against it, yet it's needed. You need that skill of being able to take charge and control the situation, hold people accountable, so that you have the consistency you need to have the sustainability that you need. So, yeah, I get it.
So,
I get it. That's what, And
what I do a lot is now, I'm thinking my strategy now because I know a lot of people think, like Ben told me last week, man, don't put no energy to this. I'm saying, man, I don't know. It don't take me zero energy to call out some bull job, like zero. Like I don't lose no energy. But I think what we need to do is a lot of times we don't, because I did this strategy too. Instead of putting the mirror up in front of my people and telling them, we just like, man, don't even worry about it. Just keep doing what you're doing. Now I need to put our mirror up in front of our people and tell them.
Accountability.
Yeah, I need now because I put the mirror in front of myself and I tell myself, you slipping, you're doing this, you're supposed to be doing this. You said you was gonna finish that. You said this is how I check myself. So if I can't put it in front of my people, like, nah, we say we want this, do we really? We say we doing this, are we really? You know what I'm saying? And you say you want to build something, but do you really want to do that? And it ain't no like finger pointed, ain't no this and that. And then it's time for you to answer the question. Yeah or no? Like, yeah, I really want to do it. So thank you.
And sometimes, like you said, sometimes you have to answer the question for folks.
Yeah.
And so in bridging the gap and the things that I remember from my dad and people over me, they didn't. You said you were going to do it. You didn't do what you said you was going to do. You had to move around. You did not even, and you understood. Yeah. So you know now that if I'm going to deal with this person, which sometimes people don't deal with certain people because there's a level of accountability that they're not ready for. You know, if we say that we're going to be here each Saturday at 10 a.m., then we're going to be here each Saturday at 10 a.m., except for any type of emergencies. That's a commitment you make. So when I started the think tank, that's exactly what it was. But that was my personal commitment. And then others would have had to commit the same. This is where I will be. Unless there is some type of emergency or something that pulls me away, I will not be at the house. I will be at this location doing this thing because I've committed to it. Yeah. Then you have the consistency. And then if you're not willing to do that, then that's still a personal, you have to say, oh, I messed that up. And then you can come back and say, give me another chance. Yeah. But when you come back, you still understand that the standard, it hasn't changed. Mm-hmm. This is where we said we would be once a month. Once to the month. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, a lot of times we're not asking for, every day 6 o'clock. We ain't ask for every day 6 o'clock. Yeah. Some things might need to be every day 6 o'clock so we can get some little momentum built into it, to get some skin in the game, for the next 30 days, we need to get this done. And we need how many people can come every day at 6 o'clock. And then if you say you're one of the people that's going to come every day at 6 o'clock, please be there every day at 6 o'clock. Unless it's an emergency. Why? Because the group depends on you. We got a mission. We got 30 days. And so maybe going in to build consistency, we can't just look at, this is how I run my life. We can say to others, this is how this operation runs. Yeah. Don't sign up. So we just know up front, we not be mad at you if you can't do this, but if you can commit to this, commit to it, and let's knock it out. Let's get it done. Something like that. You
definitely got to understand that. And everybody I'm reaching out to be like part of the staff, part of the team, whatever. It's I'm presented the same way. You know how I do it. In your world, on your time, what can you do? How can you do it? And we'll build from there. Because that's all I need. Everybody. I'm gonna have probably a everyday staff, but most people are gonna come in and fill in and be more impactful in their certain areas on their certain days and times, and that's great. You know what I'm saying? But that's consistent. That's still consistent, though.
Yeah. But I don't know. So you can kind of. This is what came to mind with Jay Morrison, Boyce Watkins. I don't know if it's any, those two are two main ones, right? Mm-hmm. They had people that was with them. And then all of a sudden, these people aren't with them anymore. That causes you to go, oh, what in the world was that about? Is there something wrong with Boyce? Is there something wrong with them? Is there something with Jay? Is he hard to work with and difficult? Is he not what he put out himself to be or whatever? So I know I've always tried to or felt it important is to maintain relationships even in the midst of a breakup. You leave in, that we leave on good terms. Don't. I think we talked about this a little bit last week. Don't leave and badmouth me, and I'm not going to badmouth you because we're gone. This level of transparency, this level, because we don't want what we're building to be disrupted because you were inconsistent and you're no longer here. Understand that you're not here because you weren't here. It wasn't because I mistreated you. It wasn't because you showed up every Wednesday and wasn't nobody there to open the door. Everybody showing up late. That you know what I'm saying? So that we don't necessarily turn people away because they say, oh, they can't. They just like everybody else. They can't keep it together. They can't do, you know what I'm saying? Oh, it's a mess over there. You really, it's a lot of pressure for perfection, which we know we don't have. No one has perfection, but we need to at least be looking like we're striving towards this excellence. We need to do it with a spirit of excellence. Spirit of excellence means that when I miss the mark, then I'm the first one to run and fix it. Clean it up. Please clean it up. Don't leave it like that because of the impact that it can have on the work that's being done for the collective. So as we're building what we're building, like I said, if we have a focal point and we have some codes, some things that we just absolutely live by, we don't, we might fall out, but can we fall out in the right way to where we do our little break and then we talk it out and get it back together, or decide, amiably, I'm going to be doing this over here and you do that and I support, what you got going on. If you got anything going on, if you ain't got nothing going on, I still love you. Just keep living, because it's not, I don't know if anybody thinks that it's easy out here for anybody. Some people may make but life is lifing for all of us. Okay. And some of the trauma that is systemic in our society and for Black people, I don't even know if we say Black enough on our, on Bridging the Gap. We're talking about Bridging the Gap, and we're talking about Black people and however you classify yourself and all the different things that you can, identify under. We got to build that, Tony. I think we just have to build a culture of Black excellence, whatever term you want to put in there. Black excellence is consistency. Black excellence is, you're not perfect, but when you mess up, humble yourself and fix what you messed up.
It's okay.
Black excellence is supporting others. That's what Black excellence looks like. It's not my way or the highway. It's our way on the highway to moving where we got to go quickly, because we've lost time and we got to make up this time. So, yeah.
I definitely agree with everything you just said, and that's why I was like, when I was going back and forth, I'm like, man, I know this unity thing is for sure. We definitely need to be unified on a certain degree, but I think consistency is what we really missing the ball there. I think we need.
That's okay. That was good.
I think we need to, this is just me always just trying to think and, like you say, come up with solutions. It's all solution based. I'm trying to figure out a solution. I'm like, are we overdoing the unity and we underselling the consistency? Because if we're more consistent, even if we ain't fully unified, that's consistency that's going in the right direction gonna overpower that still. It's just me thinking out loud, and it's me. Like, this is something I go through. We, like you said, we all go through this. One of me being more consistent this year is having a show with you, Van, and Mike once a week. That was me telling myself I'm inconsistent the last year or so. I'm supposed to be starting a podcast, and I think I did like 6-7 shows last year, and I did that in 1 week this week.
Look at you now. See, you got some like-minded people.
Yeah.
You put them in the right space. You're bringing the right energy. I'm over here. Like I said, Tony, I ain't had nobody. What kind of, if I call up Travis Johnson, Sandra Hinton. I can talk black.
Yeah.
I need somebody I can talk black with. Because I've been black all my life and I love it. And I'm trying to get people to this space where you just love being black. See, some of what we deal with is that we haven't yet fallen in love with who we are. We bought into the lie that our history started with enslavement when it did not.
And some of us, we get paid to be quiet about all that. Like I know some people that
I get paid to be quiet about it.
Yeah, because you know, I'm. It's crazy that it's some people that's pro-black that I'm too black for. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I'm moderate compared to some dudes I know, some people I know, like they go super hard. I'm like, hey man, like calm down. I get it, I'm with you, but I ain't. You know what I'm saying? It's it's some people that go way harder than me. Because I stay focused.
I want to meet them.
I stay focused on
I want to meet them.
So I never, I agree with a lot of their harsh, the way they the way they go at it. But at the same time, I stay focused on power. So I'm with it all the way. But long as it keeps us in a powerful position, I don't want to go off the bridge with you with that analogy. And some of my brothers and sisters, to me, it goes a little, okay, it goes to like, you're not lying, but is that counterproductive to us gaining power? I'm always worried about that part. I don't want to be so super black that we miss the whole boat on obtaining power and building our community up. You know, and I know some people. Right. I know some people that'll go all the way off the bridge for being pro-black, but won't build nothing for the community. But it's just the way they feel. They so angry. They so this and that, and that anger is great. Like I was telling the parent today, that energy is okay. It just needs to be shifted into the right direction.
Right.
You know, so you hating the system, you hating this, you feeling like that. I'm not disagreeing with none of that. But instead of that hate and that counterproductive energy, let's put that into, I see all that. I watched all the same things. I seen how babies get fed by alligators. You know what? But let's pull these plays off. See, that makes me more determined on winning the whole situation, not make me want to just fly off the handle and say, man, you know what I'm saying? Forget this, F this, do this. I want that energy to stay where it's productive on obtaining what we're here to obtain. So we got that's a balance too, because I know some people that ain't feeling nothing, but they can talk crazy and go at the white devils and all that all day, which I ain't got no. I mean, that's your thing, but don't do it where. Okay, where are you building it? What's the solution to where, I'm gonna go right back to that same question. After you tell me all that, I'm saying, okay, so what's the solution for us gaining power within what you just said? Now, if you can tell me how we can still gain power and that's a solution for our people within that, I'm cool. But if we just hear speaking out of our heart and anger and all that frustration, which I agree, what our people was done, like we're great people. The fact that we can walk around sane and not want to hurt nobody, knowing what happened to our people. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's literally like for real. I see stuff. Well, I'm 40 years old and I don't cry often. I see stuff where I still drop tears to this day, like just did a couple of days ago. You know what I'm saying? Just watching history stuff. So I get it. I get the anger, but it don't make me want to hurt nobody.
So did you just do? I'm just curious. So I said I need to meet the people that's so pro-black.
Yeah.
Did you just equate pro-black to being angry?
No, I'm talking about some of the pro-black people I know. That's why I say they go even over the bridge. Like I'm pro-black. But I'm talking about I know some people that go off the bridge with that mindset of the frustration and the anger that becomes counterproductive to what we're trying to accomplish. Now I'm pro-black. I'm not separating myself from them. And this is a conversation I had with them. That's cool. I get it. I'm angry too. I hate this too. I hate that too. I understand it. But what's the solution? Like we got to keep a cool head. I have to be able to watch this get done to my people and still come to the table with a game plan and build a school with a cool head that's productive for our community to build. I can't build my school out of the anger that I really have by what I just saw.
You can't.
You see what I'm saying? And that's the part I'm talking about. I'm not separating because I'm pro-black. So I'm not saying that they a different type of pro-black. I'm just saying sometimes that energy, we run with it and we go way past the productive part of it. And that's when I try to just reel them back in. Like, nah, that energy is great, but let's make sure we're productive with that energy.
It's what we do with our pain, our anger, and our frustration. And we can't, I don't know. I don't think it's healthy for us to, well, I don't know. I really can't. What I do is respect how people process what it is that we experience. I just have to respect it, just because it's not done the way that I do it doesn't make it wrong. Now, there are, like you said, there are some ways that it could be processed, the trauma, the pain, the anger, the frustration that can be processed that is not constructive.
Yeah, that's the only part.
So that's an opportunity. I might need to sit and listen. Yeah, come on, give it to me, yeah.
Yeah. Nah, for real.
Because they need to get it out. And then once it's out, now we can say, now tell you what, I bet you if we build this, you know,
exactly.
That just give some alternatives or things like that.
Now that's
because they're just, how we process what we experience and what we have experienced, and
Yeah, but it's similar to what I talk to my youth about, like that's been through trauma, that's been through some stuff, and they got it bottled up in them, and all they doing is fighting at school. They doing this,
right.
Angry, and I get your pain, but I can't allow you to keep going through life using that energy that way, because it's going to be productive. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not saying that your pain and all that is not understood, but I'm saying if you keep going through life with using it that way, it's counterproductive. They got a space for a black man that's bottled up with that kind of energy. You know what I'm saying? I don't want you in that space. You know,
not at all.
So that's what I mean. It's not that the energy, and like I say, I love the energy. I don't disagree with what they're saying. I'm saying, let's take that and let's make sure it's solution based at the end of the day. Like everything you said, you haven't said one lie. But at the end of the day, I don't want you to be going on the truth, then you go on a tirade you ain't helped nobody. All you did was make yourself feel better because you're aggravated or you upset. The same thing with a youth. If you go and bust somebody upside the head, you haven't did nothing productive. I know you mad at your mom, you mad at your dad, you mad at your life situations, and the world ain't fair and the system against you. Everything you just told me is correct. But what you just did because of that, that's not the way to handle that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's all I'm saying. It's not that the energy is bad or anything like that. It's like we have to learn. Like, this is something I taught myself. Like, I ain't gonna say I taught myself, because I have had some online mentors that kind of helped me with this. But I have figured out that through all that pain, to be successful, to fight against what we're up against.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we lose. So we're so emotional. We don't think straight. Like we flat. It's millions of black men right now that to tell you 30 seconds, me being mad for 30 seconds changed my life.
Yeah.
He didn't know how to take that information and break it down. And you know what I'm saying? Like, it's been times where I actually been in life or death situations, gun battle situations that I thought my way out. I didn't shoot my way out of it. I didn't stab my way out of it. I didn't fight my way out of it. I thought my way out of those bad situations. And I'm here today to say that was more powerful than anything physically I could have did.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't know that skill where we from. We're going to fight it out. We're going to shoot it out. We're going to badmouth you out. We know all the harshest ways to try to get through stuff. But if we think about it, are any of those ways ever put us on top?
So I guess I would say what we know, we have to unlearn what we've learned and relearn what serves us best.
Yeah.
So as you build House of Resources and the different programs and things that you do, then that you're getting your focus. This is what's most needed. There's a lot of anger and frustration out there, whatever that is. How do we help people, especially young people, process that in a way that the outcomes are positive and not negative? So back in my day, it was, I'm trying. It was important for me not to be on the bottom, but to be at the top. And now it's opposite. The kids are comfortable just sliding by, right? There was, I think we talked about one other thing. There used to be a competitiveness. As in, no person that doesn't look like me is going to outdo me. So that would still contain that pride in who I am in the collective. So I'd never really operated outside of my Blackness. But that's not the experience for some of us, for some of our young people today.
Most of them, because they're.
But I think that's not so. That might, or it's changing. My granddaughter came in today, and she was like, "Oh, let me tell you what happened with this teacher." And so she had on some. We probably mentioned this before. She wears some things that I don't approve of, and I don't like them. But I scoured the dress code, and it's like it doesn't specifically say that she can't wear it. So, see a lot of people wearing this. I don't like it. See grown people wearing it. I still don't like it, you know. And so today, when you come back after spring break, there's usually, remember, they didn't go to school. The teachers had some little meeting and the principals and named them. And so usually after spring break, they're like, oh, we got to get on them or they're going to run the whole thing. After spring break, they're going to be crazy. That's the adult mindset. So now we got to start enforcing the rules. The rules that we haven't enforced for the first 3 semesters. So she goes in today and a teacher comes in the room and starts pointing out the kids who had this particular type of clothing on, right? She was one of them, about 5 Black girls. Go to the curriculum office, go on over there now. One of the girls was like, oh, hold up. It's a white girl right there with the same thing on. What's really going on? And so my granddaughter was like, I ain't say nothing. She represented really well and she got it all, you know. And so the granddaughter went and, you know, they understand Blackness. It's coming back around to where they understand that they're not accepted, that we have not assimilated into the culture. We have not integrated into the culture, as in we can be who we are and they can be who they are and we respect, but the expectation is that we assimilate. And in order to assimilate, then you have to be like somebody other than yourself, which is, you know, too much for young people. But young people, and that dang on TikTok too, they putting game out there, you know, look, this is how this works. And I think they won't be able to, like this white teacher, the little Black girl confronted her on it. Now the white girl said to them, she say, well, I can't help it because I look different. I tell you what, we're supposed to be here together. This what need to happen next time. You should have got up and went to the office with her, or you should have said something yourself to her. You should have said, why are you sending them and not me? Karen, let me stop. But you should have said something of that nature. The girl needed to say something. So the kids are experiencing life differently now. And so maybe it'll come back around and we'll be able to unify again, because I think we talked about Black resistance isn't being taught anymore. And that's a form of Black resistance when you're able to speak up and say, hey, lady, I got sent here, but there's a white girl and she has on the same clothes that I do, and the white teacher didn't send her. Can you help me understand? And require an answer. Somebody need checking at some point.
Oh, yeah.
With my granddaughter, if you can come home and tell me, and I'll go find out. You don't have to necessarily. I tell her you can respectfully say what it is you need to say. If you can't do it respectfully, you come home and you tell me, then I'm going to address it. But those things, you know, have to be addressed. The kids see it, but they haven't always spoken up for themselves. And they say, no, y'all going to stop mistreating us. You're going to stop mistreating me. And so said all that to say something.
He said a lot.
Yeah, but I mean, it's coming back around, and we got to teach them how to walk in their Blackness. They have to,
and it needs to be. They need to get it. Like you said, it's given to them on TikTok and everything. But it was more powerful. I ain't gonna say more powerful. The power that it had back in the days, it came from your community and your household.
Yes, community in your household.
So that's the part. Like I mean, anytime you get it, it's a good thing. But
Right.
I think it would be on a stronger foot if it came from the community in your household, as well as the newer technologies and all that. But like we crawling, we got to crawl for you out, But we've been on for an hour and 10 minutes now. How you gonna end us? Give us something to end on.
I'm gonna just draw. I'm gonna ask you. You can answer tonight, or you can think about it.
Okay.
And share next week. If your summer program was presented with Black African American themed camp, what do you think the community's response would be?
I mean, probably the way it is now, like is really loved offline, kind of hesitant online. Like the same response I get in real life. I get it's a lot of timidness around me in social media, but if I had a camera on me when people run across me in real life, give me the big. I'm talking about people I don't even know I'm friends with. Man, I love what you're doing. Why you ain't sure now? Why you are my friend? I ain't even know. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
So it's that type of thing where we love it, but we're not gonna really promote it, share it, or hero it in public. But on site. So like, I mean, I get asked that. I've been asked that already. Like, is any other kids allowed in my program? Because even though it's not really themed Black, I'm the person that they see when they see a CEO Youth League. So it's people that actually look at it as a Black program now, even though I haven't really themed, because what I do in my personal, and I'm so tied to CEO Youth League, they just put it together. Like, so it's just to them, it's already a Black program. You know what I'm saying? And I have no problem with that. I had a white parent ask me, will my kid be, I said, yeah. I said, man, any child that come to me gonna get the same attention, love, respect, and safety. I just target my community because we have the least. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to apologize for that, but anybody's welcome. But if you ask me who I'm going after my people, because we the ones that can't afford all these programs. We don't have programs, and we at the bottom, we at the bottom as a whole, as a people anyway. So I don't bite my lip, or that don't bother me. But I do get that question all the time. I'm already looked at as a Black kid organization.
Okay, so you're looked at as a Black kid organization, right? Mm-hmm. Will your organization provide resources that are geared specifically for the uplift of Black children?
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, that same lady that I told you about, I told her kids are welcome, but they're gonna get everything from a Black perspective. Like
awesomeness.
Yeah. No, we're not shying away from that. That's publicly announced and told to everybody. Like we don't shy away from that. And if that's a problem to you, which it has been a problem to some people, it's cool. Like I'm not tripping on that. Like that don't bother me.
I'm wondering how many people are out there even looking for that. I would want my grandkids to be in a space that doesn't look like public school, where they're getting enrichment in culture, in literature that is filled with people who look like them, in their music, their history, their today, they're building, like you see, they're building with an understanding of who they are in this world.
Oh yeah, that's the only way I'm teaching. I tell everybody, like, your kid's gonna learn, and that's why I always tell. I told the lady today, like, I'm not, because she was calling me about the mentorship. I'm like, I'm gonna be straight up with you. I'm not no super religious program. I'm not like other programs. I don't knock it. Whatever makes you a better person, I'm cool with it. But I just teach from a different perspective. I'm not here telling everybody to be the preacher and the choir boy. You know what I'm saying? You might get some people that come from my teaching that might be at the club popping a bottle or something. But I teach them to do it be productive for your community, do it safe, don't be out there harming other people. So I talk from that point of view. I'm not trying to turn nobody into who they're not trying to be. I'm not trying to convert you to, you know, that's not my thing.
Right.
My thing is wherever you at, whatever type of person you is, to enhance and better that person and make that person productive and positive for your people. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm not that person that's gonna do all the other stuff and what's wrong and what's, you know, like I don't do all that. I'm just trying to turn the people that I run into the best version of themselves, whatever that might be. And like I told the parents today, the best version of your son might not be what you visualize, you know, but if he's productive and he's positive for the communities, he ain't hurt nobody, at least that's positive. You know what I'm saying? Like,
absolutely.
I know I done heard parents say that they don't love that their kids part of the Snoop Dogg program because, you know, he smokes weed publicly and all that, but they see the impact of what he do when he changed their life. These kids really don't want to be in the streets no more. They really look up to him. So they like, okay, I don't care what he do. The production and the positivity that he's having on these kids is bigger than what he do personally. You know, so it's one of those type of things. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like we definitely about Black first. Like they gonna know that, and it's never, like I say, you know, I always leave with this: we never disrespect, we never go it, but we're gonna stand on truth. And if the truth is a little too raw sometimes, then maybe, I don't know, maybe that's not right for you. You know what I'm saying? But our baby's gonna get the truth. Our baby's gonna have knowledge of self. Our baby's gonna be understanding about group economics. Our baby's gonna realize that this is a proud thing to be about. And they're not gonna just hear about no slavery. They're gonna hear about the Mansa Musas and all this stuff, and then how we got here and how the greatness that we had since we've been here. Because that's another lineage. That's why, you know, when we term the frame FBA, it's a lot of Black people that still go back and forth about that. But we're our own distinctive lineage, you know, just like Jamaicans. They're from Africa, but they're Jamaicans. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like Haitians from Africa, but they're Haitians. They have their own lineage within their Africanism. And people have told us, people in America, so long that no, we have to be African American. We have to be this.
No.
We the foundation of America. We don't have to go back to Africa unless we just want to. But our ancestors built this country. America was not here before our people started building it. You know what I'm saying? Like, the United States of America was not here until our people built it. We got most claims to this land, and we've been here 500, 600, 700 years, just like we got claims to Africa. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm not moving from America. I got property in Africa, and I'm trying to buy up America. Like, this is my people property, and that's the power that I want to give our kids. Instead, you know what I'm saying? And empower them to realize that this is your land. That, you know, these are ancestors come from there, and we got love. That's our bloodline. That's our lineage. That's our bloodline. But America is our lineage. Don't be ashamed of what your people went through, because your people have proven that they're the strongest people, because nobody else could survive what we survived.
Awesome. That's what the baby's gonna get right there.
Yeah, that's it. You know, we got Black history. We're not doing no. I intentionally waited till after February. Then we're gonna start once a month. I got confused on these holidays because, you know, I'm not a holiday person. So I had it first. We're gonna do every first Sunday of the month. We're gonna do a Black History Museum at the House of Resources from like 7, like from 1 to 7 or 1 to 8. Catch that after church crowd. You know, have some little food, stuff like that, where you can come and actually see. So I had it for April 1st, and then I was like, okay, hold on. Easter is the first Sunday of April, so let me move it to April 9th. And then I was told that no, Easter was moved a couple years ago to the second weekend, and so I'm confused. So whatever that is, what we doing now, we're gonna push it to the last month of April, and then we'll figure out from there. But this first one gonna be about Black inventors. So I'm gonna have Raya, my 12-year-old. She's gonna do probably about 4 or 5 paintings. I just sold one of her paintings today for $50.
Awesome.
You know what I'm saying? So she's gonna do about every month. She's gonna do her paintings. We're gonna have them in there. And then we just gonna, man, we printing out so much stuff. It's gonna actually look like a real museum when you walk through there every first month. So we open it up for Black Museum. So now, and our kids gonna be a part of that. So the kids that come through my program, even though, so they're gonna be seeing it as we building it. Like, even when we do this 3-week summer camp, they're gonna actually see us turning it into a Black History Museum, and they're gonna learn some stuff like that. So we're gonna teach them gardening, history, you know, like the financial stuff like that too, investing and stuff like that. And then just the part about, I was listening last night to a mentor, and I started I had a program called Think Bigger, but within that program I put teaching. He said we don't teach kids how to dream no more. So that's one of the things that we're gonna do. I'm gonna make sure that we talking to these kids about their dreams and how they accomplish dreams, and like you set them high, go for the
Absolutely.
What you're told you can't do, go for it. So just teaching kids how to think big and go after goals that somebody would say you crazy for. That's the stuff I want to teach them to go after. So you're crazy. That's why I call this CEO in training. This is gonna be a great one. It's the first one, of course. But I'm excited about it's like like a little toy. I get to kind of play with it and see.
It's gonna be beautiful and powerful.
Powerful, yeah. So and I have some people say they can't make it all 3 weeks. So what we did the 3 weeks for $300, which that's cheap. Then we do, like, if you just want to do a week, because I know some people got plans. They might not be able to do all 3 weeks, but for a week or two, I need them to be in there before we go on vacation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We got the weekly thing, or you got some people that, hey, we're going to be here 5 days and then we're going to be gone. You can pay for a day. You can have day passes too. So
that's awesome.
We're trying to figure it out on all ways, man. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. But definitely, to answer your question, long-winded, everything I do, I make no apology about it, is going to come from a Black perspective, just like they would, like they taught us. They taught us everything that we know from their perspective. Like, wow,
yes, changing the narrative requires.
Yeah. So what? I mean, I can't even teach from another perspective. I don't, I don't know how to teach nobody else but from this perspective about what we're trying to accomplish. So yeah, we definitely be one on everything we teach. No matter, I don't care if you're a Latino child, white child, you're gonna be B1 while you're in class today.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it. So that was your last words for the night.
I just want to. Yeah, I needed to have some. I need to have that question there. Like, we gotta. We definitely. I'm still. How we put things out, mm-hmm. and who will respond.
Yeah.
How many people out there are looking for a genuine cultural experience for their child? And those that are looking for that cultural experience for that child, is this what they will find? Is that the way would be promoted? If you promoted it that way, would you have the same results that if you promote it in a more generalized manner? And you being who you are, we're going over to CEO Youth League. That's Tony. So we know it's going to have, that it's going to be about being, about the power of Blackness. It's going to be, culturally, it's going to be culturally sound.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Yeah, you're going to see Black people. You can see other people, but they're going to experience something different.
Mm-hmm. Very different.
Not the same as if they go to the Y.
Yeah.
And the Boys and the Girls Club or whatever else they may have. That this is a different experience.
Yeah, that's baby.
And I'm just still curious to know how many people are looking for that for their kids. Or many. Some may not be. Some may be like, y'all will leave them alone.
No, ain't no. We definitely have that. I went through that personally already. Like,
yeah,
we got that. Yeah, I told you, I'm like, I don't know. I'm used to it because I listen to so much Malcolm X that I understand that somebody that talk and move like me unapologetically and ain't scared to be fired because I can be fired. I ain't scared of this. I ain't scared of that. That's threatening to a lot of our people because we're in positions where we can be fired. We're in positions where somebody can change our lives depending on how they feel about us. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not in that position. So to a lot of people, I don't want to say envy, but to a lot of people, they don't like it. I have a lot of people waiting on me to fail just because of the way I'm so unapologetically Black. And like I tell them, like, even if I fail, I'm still ahead of you because it's mental. Like, I can lose everything today and be ahead of whatever you think is top because of my mental. It ain't about all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? So you're still missing the point about what this is about, So, but yeah, that's baked in the cake. It's nothing to
baked in the cake.
It's baked in the cake.
Bridging the gap.
Yeah, it's all in there. It's baked in the
Bridging
cake.
the gap. Bridging the gap. But
so I appreciate you. Let me get. Hey, I told you last time it's 9:45. You know what I'm saying?
For real.
Look, for real, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's baked in the cake, man. So this is another episode of Bridging the Gap. We finna get up out of here. We've been on here an hour and 25 minutes. You know how we do it. And I started off with the new era interview. I was in a Zoom call with them. I had to end that. They was talking, so I'm gonna have to tell them I had to tap out because I told them I was gonna go for my podcast, but they went off the realm, started talking about stuff we wasn't even supposed to talk about yet. You know what I'm saying? But that's another powerhouse that I'm teaming up with. So we got so much beautiful stuff coming down the pipeline, man. I'm excited, you know.
Absolutely.
But I appreciate you. This is another episode of Bridging the Gap with Miss Rhonda Brown. So tomorrow we're gonna chill because of the weather, and like what we doing? Is it supposed to rain tomorrow? I need to check the weather because I know we won't be able to do no painting if it's raining. I'll see. We'll
just let me know. I don't know. I'm gonna wait and see what my morning looks like.
Yeah. Okay.
But my husband could, possibly bring James if you need him.
Okay.
And then if not, I'm not getting out there in it. I have obligations Thursday and Friday. I need to feel well for.
Okay.
So, but it's gonna be what it is. But I'm getting ready to work on this thing right now.
Okay. Well, I'll see what tomorrow looking like, and then because if it's too wet, I know we won't be able to pull out and paint. And I just see because I don't want them to come down here unless we got something we can knock out. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I'll let you know early. But I appreciate you again. I see you. I'll talk to you soon, but I'll see you next week on another episode of Bridging the Gap.
Right, because consistency is where it's at. We got it. We got that worked out.
Yeah, we got it
in the book. And thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us. Yes. All right. Peace, y'all.
Love, pimping.